Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is live day. I was literally working to the last second on some cool Total CMS 3 features. Hopefully new beta tomorrow, if all goes well. I was hoping to ship it days ago. But anyway. Hello, you beautiful people. Well, at least some of us, Chris. Okay, here, let me just verify that the thing I did, maybe I'll show it off a little bit. Okay, yeah, that works. Cool. Add multiple filters. Excellent. Working. Love it. Love it when things work. Mr. Workman's in the house. Mr. Cole, Francis, Mr. Francis, Dr. Bob, Matthias. Howdy from Germany. Howdy to Germany. I'm not from Germany. One day I'll make it over there. One day. Ramstein. Okay, excellent. Love that. Thank you. This is one of my favorite hats. So I actually have two of this exact hat, just different colors. So yeah. Thank you. This is definitely one of my favorites. All right. Here. Okay. While I'm verifying what I did actually work, let me go ahead and share my screen. And I'll just quickly show you. This has nothing to do with what we're showing off today. But you know what? It's hot and new. And a lot of people are wanting it, right? So here's CMS 3 beta. Okay. And we're going to have filtering and sorting of blog loops. Okay. You can have as many filters and as many sorts as you want. You can also limit and add some pagination as well, which is pretty cool. So I literally just built the controls. It doesn't actually work yet. Well, it works on the application side, but I haven't built all the logic into the stacks yet. I'm just kind of building out the settings. So yeah, pretty cool. You'll be able to add in as many filters as you want. Again, the settings, I haven't even done the settings here yet. So just all the raw basics right now. But super excited about this. It's going to be super powerful. If you like the filtering in feeds, this is going to be even a little bit more powerful than that. So there we go. Okay. Wait, one more cool little doodad in this next beta. Okay, I know some of you probably joined last week. I did an epic 3-hour live stream, and I showed off the new admin dashboard, right? And one of the bad things about the admin dashboard is it doesn't work inside, or it didn't work in preview. But guess what? It does now, right? So this is in preview. I now have full access to the CMS instance that runs inside of preview. All the docs are here. You can go ahead and look at your collections. You can add new objects, all that jazz, all within preview. So yeah, new admin dashboard. You might notice there's a few new tools here as well. A little project setup tool, which is kind of cool, but more on that later. We're not going to dive into that now. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's close this project out. Don't save that. All right. We're gonna set up a new project. Okay. Because as usual, I don't have many plans. I didn't pre-build anything here. I think you guys kind of like it when I kind of wing it and just like I struggle. So maybe I'll struggle through some things as well here. We're just gonna kind of build some things, and depots and files next week. So I don't know about depots and files yet. They're currently 2 betas away mostly because I split this current beta in half in order to get filters out and some of this other stuff out a little sooner. So I don't know about next week, but soon. Okay. Sorry, Matthias. I know you're really wanting those. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Let me bring up the post that kind of inspired today's live stream. Where is it? So, kind of a run-of-the-mill post. Not many people helped out and replied, but it spurred this live stream. This was a month ago now. So, Bill asked, he wanted to, if you know, like Rapid Weaver 9 or Rapid Weaver Classic, whatever you want to call it. Remember it added that little like built with Rapid Weaver badge or something. I mean, honestly, I don't remember exactly what it looked like. Like, because I think like the first week I saw it, I turned it off and never looked at it again. And I don't use setup anymore, so I no longer have Rapid Weaver Classic. Okay, but I kind of remember what it looked like. And if we go ahead and look at Weaver Space, right? And there's a couple things here. Let's see if we go to, I didn't create the announcement this week, but we have like a little, if you know, like there's like little announcements. If you ever go to Weaver Space, you sometimes see like mostly the deal of the week stuff, right? And then also down here at the bottom corner, we have these little doohickeys, right? And I think the Rapid Weaver badge is similar, right? So I'm going to kind of use this as an example. And we're just going to build out something like this. Probably like a little image, maybe a title and a bit of text, and maybe make the thing one big old link. And we're going to kind of animate it in. And then hopefully if we have time, we'll play with call to action to control when and where we see this thing. Okay. So hopefully that sounds cool. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the chat, and we will again, I don't really have plans. My plan was just kind of build this little doohickey down there at the bottom. All with we will do this with Foundation 6. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get her done. Okay. So I'm starting with a completely blank project file. Okay, actually for fun, let's go ahead and let's save this as, so you guys can get this project file badge. And we're gonna save it to my desktop. All right, there we go. All right, so now I got this thing. Let's just call this home. All right, let's get started. We're gonna add site styles. And I like to slim down my site styles a little bit. Okay, we're gonna do that. And pretty much I'm just gonna build this page. It'll kind of just be a blank page. We're just gonna build out the little notification thing. But first, before we position it, we have to build the notification, right? So I'm just gonna add in a little container here just to give us a little container to work with. And I'm just gonna do like P128 or something like that. All right. So we wanted that thing to be one big link, right? So let's start off right. And we have something called a link container. Okay. And that is a container that makes something one big old link. Okay. And let's call this, let's give this a class. We're going to call it a notif badge. How about that? Okay. I think that makes sense. We are going to start creating some classes, right? So we're going to go our notification badge. All right, let's add a background. Okay, so we're going to notif dash badge. Okay. And just to make it stand out a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and do like F8, something like that. Yeah, it's like almost white, right? Okay. So we're gonna do that. We want this thing to be pill shaped, so I'm just gonna start chucking out some rounded corners here. So we're gonna do, oops, I didn't, notif dash badge. And let's copy that so it's on our clipboard. Okay. And yeah, radius 10 pixels, that's fine. Okay. Let's add a box shadow to it. Shadow. Okay. Let's do a little more subtle shadow, actually. I'm just gonna reduce that down so it's something like that. Sure. And let's do a shadow. Let's do 1 pixel down. Yeah, I like that. A pixel blur. Sure. Let's go with that. Okay. So there we go. And all right. I know that we haven't previewed this yet. I'm just trying to get things done because I know we got other stuff to do. So hopefully this is making sense. And let's add in let's start building our layout actually. Let's go ahead and add in, let's do 2 columns. Okay. So we have a 2-column layout. First column, I want it to be shrink to content. Okay, because we're gonna add in a image, right? And then the second column is just gonna be auto. Okay, perfect. So the second column is just gonna fill up the rest of the space. And it doesn't matter the device, it's always gonna be, we're gonna control it on small and medium and large, it's always gonna be the same. Okay. Ultimately, I'll also create a width swatch and constrain the width of this. Okay. But let's see what we can do here. All right. And all right, let's add in a picture. Let's add in a picture over here. All right. And I don't know, let's add in the Stacks Pro. Why not? Boom. All right, we got Stacks Pro. All right. And I'm going to scale the image. I want to do, I don't know, how about like 64? Yeah, that looks good. All right, so 64 pixels. And then over here, we're going to do a header. Okay. Let's do like, sure, H2. Okay, Stacks Pro is coming. And then below that, we're going to do a subheader. That's going to be, whoops. Let's do a H4. All right, boom. All right. Obviously, we'll have to tweak the header sizes because we want those to be small, right? Okay. And let's see how this is looking. I have no clue how this is going to look. So let's see. All right. So first off, let's up 1 second. Let's do overflow visible. All right. So here we go. I need to add a little bit of gutter, obviously there. Obviously, we're going to restrict the width as I suggested. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add in, let's see, in this 2-column, let's just go ahead and add a little bit of padding everywhere. Well, that's a lot. All right, let's just add gutters. Cool. All right. All right. Let's start controlling. Let's tweak the header sizes of these, right? Because we want those to be smaller. It's going to be a little notification at the bottom, right? So it can't be that large. Okay. So let's go into font style. Okay. And we're going to control the notification badge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to control the H3 inside there. So I'm going to do space H3. Okay. And this is going to allow me to control the header. Okay. Another thing you could do is you can go ahead and add a custom class to the header if you wanted. But yeah, this works too. I think it's just a little bit more efficient, less classes to have to worry about. Okay. So let's see how that works. 16 pixels. All right, let's make it a little bit. Let's make weight bold, and let's make it like 24. Let's see how 24 looks. And weight is 600. That's still a little bit big, actually. Let's do like 18. I think I'm good with that. Okay. One thing I noticed here, let's do, well, we'll inspect it later. All right. And then the H4. So we're going to do H3 is H4, and let's do 14 pixels on that. And we're not going to affect the weight. Actually, let's do weight 400 to make sure it is just 400. Sweet. I like that. On these headers, I think I want to remove the margins on both of them, actually, just so we have full control over everything. Excellent. Starting to look good. Okay. I think we need a little bit of padding around the entire link container. Okay. Instead of using a utility class, I'm going to go ahead and just add in a padding swatch just so that we have everything that we can look at. Okay. Oops. Put that in there. Let's just add like, we'll try 8. That's not bad. All right. So let's constrain the width now. Okay. And wonder if on this, what happens if I set this to also shrink to content? I don't know what's going to happen. Let's figure out. All right. And what if I do, or we're going to try to use swatches only so we can see everything and not hide stuff inside utility classes. I'm just playing around. I'm trying to, whoops, that was the wrong keyboard shortcut. What was I doing? All right. Okay. I want to go here, notification, and we're going to do display inline block. Aha. Sweet. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. So, let me explain what that is. And also this gutter, I'm not a huge fan of that. It's so big. Yeah, that gutter's too big. But I'm not loving. All right, let's see. In here, let's play with this horizontal alignment. Vertical alignment. Sorry, we want vertical align middle. There we go. Right? Okay. I'm liking it. Okay, this is starting to look better. I kind of like, I don't know. Does it look better at the top or the bottom? Interesting. What do you guys think? What do you think in the chat? Do we like vertical align top? Maybe if I add the top margin back to that header. That's going to be personal preference, right? Plus, I think the issue is this image has some transparent pixels around the edges, right? So that's why this text doesn't look like it lines up well. I think if this image went all the way to the edge, it would look a little bit nicer. Okay. But yeah. I am going to cheat. I'm going to do like PT, or I'm sorry, like, let's do an MT:4. Yeah, baby. Okay. I like that. Okay. I do want to increase, let's see. I think I want the padding that we have on this to be a little bit more on each side. Oops, I opened that in a browser. My fingers betrayed me. I know I said I wasn't going to use utility swatches, or utility classes, but like this is a perfect example where it's like, I don't know. Here, okay, I'm going to stick with it. Let's not use utility classes. Sorry. There's nothing wrong with against utility classes, but I just wanted to guys. I think some people get confused when they don't see all the styles when I create something. So being able to see everything in a swatch is convenient. I would probably have used a utility class in there if I was doing it. Okay, because it's just quick and dirty, right? Let's go ahead and do notif badge H3. Okay, and we're gonna do what was that? No, we want detailed top. What did I say it was? What did I do? 4 pixels? I think I did 4 pixels. All right, perfect. 4 pixels. And then the padding around the link container, I wanted that a little bit bigger. Actually, to be honest, what I want is I want the top and the bottom to be 8, but I want the left and right to be a little bit more. Let's do 12. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. For some reason, it just feels off here. Again, I think it's because this image has transparent pixels, and so it makes that gap not match over here. Kind of sucks. But anyway, we're gonna go with it. We're getting there. Okay. to be honest, like this is quite large. Okay. Probably in retrospect, I think it should be even smaller. But then if it's smaller, then it's kind of harder to read, right? Oh, one thing I didn't talk about is how I made this the size it is, right? I didn't use any width swatches or anything, right? So how did I do that? So first off, if we look at the columns, okay. Actually, I'm curious if I do with auto here, what's going to do? Oh, it does the same thing. Okay. In the columns, you remember I did column 1 was shrink to content, column 2 is auto, which means it'll grow to the content. Okay. If you notice, I did the same for shrink to content, and it kind of looked the same. Okay. So it effectively is the same layout. Okay. But the trick was when I put this display swatch on here, and let's go ahead and just delete that really quick. Without that display swatch, okay, this link container goes the entire width, because by default, a lot of things are set to grow the entire width of whatever they are inside. There are some exceptions like buttons and things of that nature. The link container itself is meant to always fill up the space that you give it. Okay. Okay. So what does this display mean? Okay. So this controls a display property within CSS. And if you notice, there's a lot of options here. Okay. There's 2 primary options or 3 actually. Obviously you can set to display none, which will hide it. Okay. Display block, that display property in CSS essentially means fill up the space you're in. So if you set something to display block, it's just going to fill up the area it's inside. Okay. Display inline and display inline block. Both of those are essentially the ways of ensuring that the width is only the width of its content. So it's not going to be greedy with space and eat up all kinds of extra space. Okay. We want it to essentially, shrink down to the content, which is exactly what we did. Now, the difference between inline and inline block, I'm not going to go into that right now. It's kind of a complex. There's a lot of little mini quirks. Most of the time, I have to say I do use inline block. I mostly prefer that towards inline. Okay. Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing. Inline is good for maybe for like, even for like SVGs, I tend to use inline block if I want them to be whatever. But yeah, okay. So there we go. All right, so now it shrunk, okay, to the size that we have. Now, next up is I'm happy with this. Okay, obviously in the link container, you would go ahead and add a link to whatever you want to link to. Okay. We'll just leave it as this for now because I don't need to link to anything. It is a link. It'll link to whatever. But now we need to go ahead and position this, right? So we need to position this down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use a position swatch. And we're going to position the notif badge. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to position it relative to the browser. Okay, so it's going to basically lift out of the browser and we're going to make it relative to the browser. And we want it at the bottom left. All right, so let's start with that. All right, bottom left. If you notice, it is right all the way down at the corner. We don't necessarily want that. We want to get a little breathing room. Now, there's 2 things we can do. We can either add a margin swatch and add margin to this, and then it will bump it up a little bit, or we can just add where we want it. Let's do like, I don't know, 15. Let's try that. All right. Maybe a little bit more. How about like 24? Oops, 24. I kind of like that, right? A little bit further up from the bottom. I tend to notice when you want to put things in the corners, okay? From a design perspective, for some reason, if you have it like I had this set to 15 before, and that made it so it was exactly perfectly positioned in the corner. For some reason, that just always feels off to me. And I always have to either add more to the left or to the bottom or the top of the, you know, whatever it is, to make it so it's not evenly in the corner. Like, it's close and it's in the corner, but yeah, I personally find, even when I'm like positioning, let's say, a close button, if you put it exactly in a particular corner, it doesn't look great. You have to either shift it up or shift it over a little bit for it to look good. So yeah, just a little bit of design tidbit for you. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now what we want to do is we want to animate this, right? Because right now when I go ahead and animate it or load the page, it's just always there. And hey, maybe that's what you want, okay? But let's go ahead and try to make it a little bit better. All right, so in order to animate this, there's so many ways we can do this. If you want to go advanced, you can do like drift and do like some crazy animation in. We're going to keep it simple for right now though. And we're just going to, we're going to do, let's look at some animate. Let's do animate on scroll. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Oh, maybe it is. Let's see. All right, so let's do node of badge. Okay, and oh, this is in the swatch pack. And let's fade it in from the side. How about like fade in left? Animate once. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, we want, okay. So we want start position to be 100. There we go. Okay. So here we go. So animate on scroll, start position is 100. Okay. And there we go. Now, obviously, we probably want some sort of delay, right? So we can delay this by, let's do like, well, let's do like 2 seconds. Voila. Okay. And you can do more. Let's do like fade in. How about like fade in bottom left? Right. That kind of comes up like that. Right. You can fade. Let's do like how about bounce in left? What does that look like? I kind of like that. That's a little fancy. Like it kind of grabs your attention. Right. I can dig that. Bounce in left is cool. It's been a while since I played with some of these animations. Let's do like rotate up left. It works, right? Basically, you can play around with a lot of these things. Cool. I like it. So that's one way. One way we can do it. Boop. I like that. Actually, I think my favorite so far was the bounce in. Let's zoom in left. Let's see what some of those are. Nah. Slide in left. Yeah, let's stick with the bounce in left. I liked that. Boom. Boop. I thought that was cool. Oh yeah, I like that one. So there we go. That's cool. There's other ways we could do this. Let's play around with some other things. Let's see what other swatches we got. There's also toggler on scroll. Okay, let's do something even simpler. I'm just gonna turn this off. Okay, just so that one's off. Let's do some other animations. Here, I'm gonna start organizing some of these things so that we don't. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Just gonna move all of those in. Come on. All right. base notif badge styles. Okay. Then we're gonna add, oops, we want these two in there. So it's all the way in there. Sweet. And let's go ahead and add another pen. Okay. All right, let's add in another one. Let's do transition. Okay. And then we would do, is it toggler? No, not toggler. You probably could use toggler as well, but I think toggler on scroll would be good. Well, I'm thinking, guys. Sorry, let's see. So we want to affect that. All right. So this is similar to animate scroll. Okay, but we have a little bit more granularity. Okay, so let's set it up similarly. Okay, so we're going to we want to target the notification badge. And we want to toggle the class. Let's do show. Okay. And the trigger is also going to be notification badge. We want to trigger once. All right. So what this does, let's just show, I'm going to toggle a hide class on this. So basically we're going to do hide on this so it'll not show it. Okay. Just to kind of show you how this works. We're going to delay it by, let's do 1.5 seconds. Oops. Let's do 2 seconds. All right. 2000. All right. So what this will do is after 2 seconds, this is going to toggle the hide class, which means if it's there, it's going to remove it. If it's not there, it's going to add it. Okay. And let's delete this transition for now. 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom. Okay. So the hide class, if you didn't know, is a utility class in Foundation that hides something. Okay. Now it didn't have any animation. Okay. I just wanted to kind of show you what we can do. Okay. So that had a class of hide, it removed it. Okay. 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom. Okay. Okay, so now let's get a little fancier. Okay. And I'm gonna add in another pen. Okay. And we're gonna do toggle animation. Okay. Because we're gonna need a couple different classes on this one. Or a couple different things. All right. I'm gonna remove that hide class from here because that was just an example. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to toggle a class called show dash badge. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add some others. So basically, by default, I want to have styles on notification badge that hide it. Okay. And so we're going to add in, there's a lot of things you can do. You can maybe change its position swatch. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to break existing demos. Okay. But you can like have this left negative something so it's completely off the screen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called a transform. Okay. And I'm going to add in notif badge. Okay. So by default, I want to transform. And what I'm going to do is I want to move it. Okay. And we are going to move it X by percentages and do negative 150. Okay. Let's try that. So now we can't see it. Okay. I haven't turned on the animation yet, but right now it's completely off the screen. It's actually over here somewhere. Okay. Because I transitioned it by 150% of the size of the badge itself, just to ensure that it's completely off the screen. Here, just to show you, I'm going to do negative 50 so you guys can kind of see what it is. So now I did negative 50. Okay. So it basically moved it by 50% over. Okay. Now, just to show you, if I do 100 here, okay, you notice it still shows a little bit, and that's because, remember, I positioned it 15 pixels over, so we still see 15 pixels of this, right? So we need to go a little bit more. So I just did 150 just to kind of know that it's completely going to be gone out of the browser. It exists, but it's over here. Okay. So now what I want to do is, remember when we add the show badge class to this, basically I want to change the transform to be move 0 essentially. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this. Actually, we're gonna move that over there. Okay, so now we have this one. Okay, and I'm gonna do notif badge. I'm gonna do dot show badge. Okay, oops, if I can type. All right, now you can put in just show badge. Okay, and it can't, and this will most likely work. Okay, but what I like to do here is I like to add 2 classes. This means only do the notification badge, the notif badge, and the show badge. So if it has both classes, okay, you can do that. All right, and essentially now I want to move it to 0. And for fun, what I'm gonna do is, oh well, all right, let's just preview. So 1,000, 2, boom. Okay, so now that didn't animate, Joe. What the heck's going on? Okay, so what it did was, after 2 seconds, it changed the transform value. Okay, but now we need to add the animations in. Okay, and so what we do that through a transition swatch. So if you ever want to transition something from one swatch style to a different swatch style, that is going to be a transition. So I'm going to go ahead in here. And what I can do is I'm going to set the notif badge. Okay. And by default, you can, it'll transform all properties. But if you know you're only going to animate one particular property, you can set it to be that. So right in this example, I know that I'm doing the transform property. Okay. And so there we go. So now I can, and you can do all kinds of animations. Let's do like ease in, ease out. Okay. And let's do that. So now I have a transition for the transform, and it's going to speed is 1 second. So that means it's going to take the animation from one transform state to a different transform state is 1 second. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Voila. Okay. Now that is a simple use case, but you can do all kinds of stuff. Okay. Because you're not limited to transforming or transitioning just the transition or just the transform, right? I'm going to set this to all just for fun. Okay. And let's play with some more stuff. So I am going to, let's add in, let's say an opacity. Okay. And by default, I want my notification badge to have an opacity of 0. Okay. And then when it also has the show dash badge class, I want it to be opacity 1. Okay. So now it's going to move and change its opacity. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Okay. I don't know if you noticed that, but it did. It was transitioning the opacity while it was going. Okay. Here, let's exaggerate that a little bit, and let's do this like 5 seconds. Okay, a 5-second animation. If you see that, it definitely, it faded in as it was moving, right? But again, you can do all kinds of other stuff with transitions. You can do, I don't know, if you want to add a border or if you want to change the colors or all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm not going to dive into more examples of what we can do here, but yeah, there we go. I actually don't think this particular example, the opacity looks good. So we're just going to stick with just the transition. But I do think maybe transitioning, whoops. 1,000. Oh man, oh, I made that slow again. Let's put that back. One 1,000, two 1,000. Boom. Cool. Now you could also make it come up from the bottom as well, right? At that point you would change this, or you would move it on the y-axis instead of the x-axis, right? So there we go. Let me look at the chat. So let's see. Will that be a dynamic doohickey from a feed? So you could, right? So that's a great question. You could generate these from a feed if you wanted. Okay. Here, let's just do. We got time. Oh, before I do that, I want to show call to action. Okay. And after call to action, remind me, and I'll generate this from a feed. Okay. Actually, you know what I should do? I should do, here, let's do, badge with animation. All right. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, duplicate, with toggle. All right. So I'm gonna go in just really quick, guys. Sorry, I just want to, we're gonna delete that. Or just delete that. Okay, so now that we have this, I just want to have a example that has everything we need. Boom. All right. Now, if you saw with the animate scroll, it has definitely some fancier animations. Okay, so that's a win. Okay, we definitely get some fancier animations. Again, you can use drift to get even crazier. Okay. We definitely don't have time to do that today. And let's go ahead. I'm going to delete that. Okay. And this should be the toggle one. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we have two demos without, two demos. There we go. Next up is we're going to do, I'm going to duplicate this page, and we're going to use call to action. And all right, so instead of toggle on scroll, okay, there is a swatch for CTA toggler. This comes with my call to action stack. Okay. So again, this doesn't come with Foundation or the swatch pack. This comes from my call to action stack. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. So let's add our call to action to the page. Okay. And trigger. What we can do is we want to trigger something. So let's say on page load. Okay. So I want to trigger this on page load after 2 seconds. Oops, not 20, 2 seconds. Okay. And then what is our call to action? So our call to action is going to be, we are going to do a CTA toggler. Okay. And the toggler ID needs to match the toggler ID here. Okay. So what we want to do is here, we want to do, we want to target our notification badge, and similar to what we did in the toggle, we want to toggle a class. So we're going to toggle that same show badge class. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now what's cool about CTA, okay, is what this stack does. Let's go back to this example. With this toggle example, or with the animation one, okay, these happen on every single page load. No matter if the person visits this page 20 times, they are always going to see this down at the bottom. Always. Okay. But with CTA, okay, or with the call to action stack, we get to control that. Okay. And so there's a lot of various occurrences. So we can do once per session. Okay. And, or we can do once per a time period. So we could be like, once in 15 days. So, that way we're not nagging our person, right? I think once per session is good. You can also do only once. Only ever show a person a particular thing one time. That's it. Right? So there's all kinds of cool stuff that we can do. For this particular one, I'd probably do like once per session, I think is probably good. Okay. And you can set this to always occur in preview. And there we go. So if I go ahead and preview that, it's going to show. Now we are in preview, so it's going to always show in preview so that we can preview this stuff. Actually, here, let's go ahead and say, let's turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and say always show in preview. That way, if I preview this, let's do it in the browser. Okay, 1,000 to 1,000. Hey, we get it. If I refresh 1,000 to 1,000, we don't get it. Okay, because it knows that it already displayed that to me, and it's not going to display that again. Now, what's really cool is, let's say I had this particular thing in a partial. It also tracks it across different page loads, right? So you can have this show up on any page you want, okay? And it will only show that it potentially one time, which is really cool. Cool. I like that. I think call to action is really cool. I think that's a perfect use case for this. Let's save that. Now, I do have to say that eventually, I do plan on having, here, let's have that always show on preview. Oh, by the way, if you're curious what this is, you probably want, this is the occurrence ID. So this is what this ID tracks it across page loads, right? So we'd probably want to change this to like Notif badge or something like that. So that if you have multiple different CTAs, the occurrence ID is different. Okay, just so, yeah, just so that. Okay. Cool. I love it. Now, with the cookie on the server, no, this does not use cookies. Call to action does not use cookies. It uses all that stuff is managed in the browser. It is not done with cookies, so you don't need to worry about GDPR and all that stuff. Call to action, yeah, no cookies here. There we go. Good question. Thank you, Erwin. Let's see. Feeds. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Let's duplicate this. Okay. Here, let's actually let's delete. I'm gonna duplicate the. Let's go for the simpler page. Let's duplicate that. Okay. And with feeds. Okay. Now this applies to feeds and Total CMS. Okay, I'm going to use feeds so that it all works inside of preview. Okay, and I don't need to set up a blog or something like that. Okay, but this what I'm about to build with feeds here will definitely work with Total CMS 1 and Total CMS 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's add a feeds. All right, we're gonna add a feed. Okay. Actually, to be honest, I don't even need this container anymore. Because yeah, we don't need it, but it's okay. Actually, here, I'm gonna, if we, here, just so it's completely as bare as possible, I'm actually just gonna update this project that way. Whoops. Here, we don't need this container. That was just the initial design aspects of it. All right, and so yeah. We're gonna do that. Let's just go ahead and boop. We don't need that. Just to prove to you. 1000. There we go. Same thing. Okay. And feeds. All right. So here, all right, we're just going to move that into there. All right. So essentially in feeds, I want to dynamically generate this. Okay. For just to keep this simple, I'm not going to change out the picture for right now. I'm going to keep it as this stacks, but I'll change out the text. Okay. And let's go ahead and do a CSV feed. Okay. And let's do heading and text. How about that? Or yeah, let's just call it text. Okay. Heading and text. And so we're going to go in here. We're going to do option enter, and we're going to do stacks pro is coming, comma, you are going to love it, exclamation point. And just for fun, let's do a second one. Let's do hello live stream. I hope you are learning something today. All right, I just have those two. All right, so that's my CSV data. And then this is my heading. So I'm going to do heading. And I'm not going to do a full feeds tutorial here today, guys, but and this was text. All right. Now, in feeds, we don't want to. We only want to display one. Okay, so I want to limit the count to one. Okay, and maybe for sort, let's shuffle. Okay, so that it'll randomly pick one of those two. Okay, to display. So I think that should work. No reason it shouldn't. Let's check it out. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Boom. All right, let's preview in the browser so I can just keep refreshing it. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Hello, live stream. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Hello, live stream again. I mean, we only have two here, so it's there we go. So Stacks Pro is coming. Pretty slick. I think this is really, really awesome. I like it. It's pretty cool. Again, this will work with Total CMS as well. Either you can use the Total CMS integration built into feeds. If you're using Total CMS 3, you can use a loop with the new filtering stuff that that is shipping this week. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that about rounds out the this particular demo. And yeah, look, I got 7 minutes to spare. Look at that. Let me go ahead and let's check out the chat, see if there's any other questions here. So we talked about cookies. Yep, the cookie jar call to action does not use cookies. Actually, cookie jar doesn't use cookies either. Okay. Being new to the Wednesday sessions, are there projects available for later for reviewing and learning? Yeah. So like this project I'm building right now, I'll plop it on the community. And chances are I'll also take these pages and put it in the foundation demo project or something like that as well. So that they're always in the demo project that you can download from the foundation page. But yeah, I will put a download link to this particular project that I'm building right now on the community. There's a post for this live stream on the community. You can get it from there. Sometimes I'm good and I remember to do that. Other times I'm just kind of riffing and just doing stuff and I don't have a project to give. So yeah, today I was a little bit more organized. I think something like this warrants a project file well. So you can kind of learn from that and play around and do other things. But yeah, I don't do that for every live stream. Okay, but I try to. All right. Cool. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed today. Really excited. I think it went really well. So thank you, Bill. I don't know if you're on here, Bill, but thanks for the ideas, for coming up with that. And I appreciate it. I think it's really cool. You can then morph this, by the way, to all kinds of other things. If you've ever gone to my site and seen the that deal of the week notification that I have. You could do something larger like that, a card, like a larger card. It doesn't need to be this little thing. But I think that's a pretty cool idea. I do have to say I have plans to build a feature like this directly into call to action. Okay. Right now, call to action just integrates with external services, but I think having something like this built into call to action will be a great thing. That way I can maybe add a few other nice little things to have, such as maybe like a little cancel button or something like that. And yeah, something that would probably require a little bit of extra code if you were to do it on your own like we're doing here today. Okay. You probably could still do like a close button. I don't know, like it, how could you do that? You could have a close button that then if when clicked on it, toggle on click the close button, and then it'll toggle that class off, that show badge class. I gotta try that. Okay, let's bump in. That's a cool idea. I think I saw someone in the comments earlier asking for like some sort of button. Okay, let's hey, so we're gonna do we're gonna duplicate. All right, we'll just do it on the same page. How about that? Well, we'll do a new page. Toggle close. All right. All right. So in order to do this, we need a close button. Okay. So in Foundation, we have a close button. Okay. So I'm gonna add close button. Okay, and let's just see how that looks. 1,000, 2,000. Okay. Let's position that. So, what we're gonna do is, I think this has a class of close. Hold on one second. Pretty sure it has a inspect button. Close. It's close dash button. Okay. So, let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to, I'm going to add it in a position swatch. Position? Maybe transform. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So there's this close button. Let's inspect that really quick. Okay. And if we look here, there's the button, okay? And if we look at the styles, we can see it has some top right, so it's positioned absolute, right top. So let's do a position swatch. We're just going to override those particular values, okay? Yeah, I like that. You could also do a transform swatch and transform it up. That would work too. And there's always more than one way to do things, okay? So we're going to do notif badge space dot close dash button, and I have a space here because I want to target the close button inside of notification notification badge. Okay, without the space, it means notif badge and close button, and that's not the case here. Okay, so the space matters big time here. Very different. All right, we want position parent. We want to be top. I'm going to do negative. We're going to have to test this out. Let's do like negative 16. Oh, not 60. Negative 16 pixels. Okay. And right. Actually, I'm not going to override the right. I'm going to leave the right as it is. Yeah, let's try that. 1,000, 1,000. Oh, okay. I need the right. Okay. Let's do right. Let's do right 0. Let's see what that looks like. All right. I need to go up more. Let's do like 32. 1,000, 1,000. Okay, cool. Now you could also adjust the font size on this guy, right? But okay. So now we need to add a toggle class here that when I click on this, it's going to toggle the class on this. Okay. So let's try that. Actually, let's go ahead and let's also do a font style. And we're going to do notif dash badge dot close button. Okay, and let's make it like 12. Let's see, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Voila. Whoa, that's way too small. I kind of like the smallness there. Yeah, we're gonna go with 16. I think it's now too high though. All right, it's too high. Actually, no, let's go with 18. All right, we're gonna go with 18 there, and I now need to adjust the position so it's like 24. Let's try that. 1,000, 2, 1,000. There we go. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I was actually looking for. Okay, so just a little close button. If you want, you could add like a background color to it as well. But I think it's just nice having just a little X right there, right? All right. So now we need to add the toggle. So when we click on that close button, it'll make this go away. So we're gonna do toggler. Okay, and on click. So I want to target the notification badge. Okay. The toggle class. Let's see. We want to toggle the show badge class. Okay. And this is going to be the trigger. So the trigger is close button. Okay. That's the class on the button. I think that's it. So 1,000, 2, 1,000. Boom. We got a little close button. Click. Oh, look at that. There we go. Now with that though, we have the same issue with the CTA thing where if this were using the CTA stack, even if you closed it, then you had the logic, that says, don't show again. But it would be nice if it was don't show again if they close it sort of thing. And that sort of feature would have to be added to the call to action stack, which I think is something that'll definitely be cool to have. It's something I would like, right? So yeah, that'll probably come in it'll be a major upgrade to CTA. But I haven't even started work on that. But today was kind of also a cursor, like a proof of concept for me for that as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That was cool. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions before we call it a day. Thank you, Bill. I'm glad you enjoyed this. Let's see. Excellent. Thank you. Welcome, Sean. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna call it a day, guys. That was a really cool one. I think that was pretty epic. I like today. I think the format went well. Didn't really run into any hiccups, which is fun. Well, it's fun for me. Like I hate struggling. I'm sure all you guys hate struggling too, right? But I'm sure you guys enjoy it. I know you guys love it when I struggle or I hit bugs and I'm like, right? But cool. Okay, guys, I'm off. I'm back to working on CMS 3 so I can get that beta 7 shipped this week. Hopefully I'll see you on Friday at the Hangouts. Super cool. Go to the community, post some questions. Don't be scared. Help others. It's a great place to be, and I appreciate you being a part of the community. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week. Go out there and make your websites great. Bye.